Good morning. It's time to begin another live session. Good morning. Just checking in with making sure the system's working. It's working fine. It's a wonderful Sunday. They always are. And today, in this live stream, so for those of you who may be visiting for the first time, these live streams are about me providing instruction to assist you in refining your practice of the law of attraction or the positively focused framework or some other collection of spiritual practices that allow you to realize you are the creator of your reality. And as a result of realizing that, living your life consistent with that realization. And when you do that, you experience the charmed life, the experience I talk about all day long in these videos on this YouTube channel. The charmed life is an experience in which you recognize it's an ongoing experience in which you recognize that you are at the center of the universe and that the universe is assembling around you in response to your vibrational emanation, everything that you want life to be comprised of. And when you have that experience, then you experience what my clients and I are experiencing, which is what I call the charmed life, which is everything happening that you want to happen without you having to do anything to make those things happen. It's so funny. When I get on these calls, these live streams, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. But what I just said is the perfect transition into the subject of this instructional video. Today I'm going to be talking about how the universe has way more ability to manifest what you want than you do. When you realize this, then you experience what I talked about just a second ago. When you realize that the universe has way more ability than you do to allow you to experience whatever it is you're wanting to happen, then you come into this charmed life experience I'm talking about. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about why the universe has more ability than you ever possibly could to allow you to have everything that you want, again, without you having to do anything in order to have those things happen. Now, it's kind of a misnomer because when I say anything, what I mean is you do have to focus. You have to focus on what you want. You don't have to do that necessarily deliberately because contrast will cause you to focus on what you want, whether you know you're doing that or not, unless you're distracting yourself from what you want by focusing on what you don't want. I'm going to be talking more about that later in this live stream. And so by what I mean when I say without you having to do anything to make those things happen, what I mean is you don't have to take any effort. You don't have to try to make something happen. You can relax and let go, and the universe will guide you toward the unfolding of what you want. It's the guiding part that requires a little bit of effort on your part because you have to be tuned in to the guidance that you're receiving from the universe that is guiding you to the coordinates in time and space where the unfolding of your desire is happening. So there is a little bit of effort, but that effort compared to what the majority of human beings are doing on this planet is minuscule in comparison. Okay, let me review what it is I'm going to be talking about with you. If you look in the description of this live stream, you'll see it there. I'm going to be sharing with you 4 points that by the end of this video, you will have an understanding of these 4 points. You'll understand why the universe is far better equipped than you are with regard to making what you want to happen. That's the first thing. The second thing I'm going to be sharing is why letting go and allowing the universe to dazzle you can be so difficult. yeah, I'm going to be talking about that too. And then the third thing is how free will sometimes gets in the way of the universe doing its job. In other words, how you often get in the way of the universe doing what it's supposed to be doing for you, which is giving you everything you want. And then the fourth thing I'm going to be sharing is how to let go and move from doubt, then belief, then trust, then knowing that the universe has your back. Those are actually, when I reviewed those 3 or 4 points, moving from doubt, then belief, then trust, then knowing that the universe has your back, those are a little bit, they're a little backwards when I originally wrote them. So we're going to clarify that too at the end as we get through this live stream. Okay. So why is the universe far better equipped than you are with regard to making things happen? Well, first of all, when I am speaking of the universe, what I'm actually talking about is not what most human beings consider the universe to be. I'm not talking about the planets, the solar system, the void of outer space. What I'm referring to when I say the universe is non-physical, the intelligence that exists in the state of becoming, that exists as part of all that is. I'm using the universe in the same way I use all that is to refer to what some religions call God. It's infinite intelligence. The word God has a whole bunch of distortions in it, which is why I don't use that word. Infinite intelligence is much better. Eternal being, again, is more accurate. Universe is a good placeholder because when I use words like eternal being or infinite intelligence, people sometimes will check out because they believe in New Age hogwash. And so the universe is a better placeholder. So if you consider what the universe or all that is, it literally is all that is. And it's intelligent and it's alive just as you are. It's pure positive energy. And because all that is, or the universe is all that is, it kind of makes sense that it has access to a large number of resources, an infinite array of resources that you don't have access to in your human state, in your human consciousness. You do have access to it because you are a microcosm of all that is, but most human beings don't realize that, and so they kind of block themselves from that realization, and so they don't get the benefit of the realization. And this is why the universe is better equipped to make things happen on your behalf than you are, or by humans, because we tend to have beliefs that block us from access to all that is, the same all that is has. So all that is, or the universe, doesn't block itself from that. So it has access to all that is, which includes other people, circumstances, dynamics. Pretty much it has everything. It has access to everything. And so it can guide not only circumstances, but it can guide other individuals, other people, in order for you to receive what you want, while those people it's guiding get what they want. And because the universe, all that is infinitely resourceful, it can coordinate or orchestrate events such that you get what you want, while at the same time, everyone else gets what they want. This is how capable the universe is. Now, again, you are as capable as all that is because you are all that is, unless you believe that you're not. And if you believe that you're not, and most people don't, or most people do believe that they're not, then they don't get the benefit of having access to all the resources. It's a paradox. And so, let me check my number 3. So I'm kind of addressing number 2 and 3 at the same time, even though I'm speaking right now of number 1 on my list of things that I promise you would get after listening to this live stream. So the universe has access to all resources, including other people, and it also has the ability to simultaneously fulfill the desires of everyone on the planet, which is exactly what it's doing. It's doing that for you as well. And the reason why you may feel that you have to dig in there and make those things happen that you want to happen, the reason why you feel that way is because you have beliefs that are disguising you from perceiving. They're kind of like a smoke screen, the beliefs you have, that have you thinking you're not all that is, and therefore not capable of assembling the resources that you want without having to take action. Notice that the universe does not have arms and legs, so it can't take the kind of action that you take. So it operates in a particular realm, a vibratory realm, which is the same place you're operating from. And part of the positively focused framework's purpose is to enlighten you to what I just said, so that then you too can operate like all that is operates in your individual life, and as a result of that, effortlessly realize that which it is that you want. That is the charmed life. Okay, so that's number one. That's the reason why the universe is way more able to deliver to you everything that you want better than you can, if you believe that you're an ordinary human. If you don't believe you're an ordinary human, if you believe like my clients are starting to believe, which is that you are pure positive energy capable of producing anything you want in alignment with infinite intelligence, then it's kind of a paradox again. If you realize that that's what you are, if you realize that you are all that is, then you operate the same way all that is does, which is at the level of vibrational frequency, which then allows you to create the same way all that is creates, which is effortlessly. It's a paradox. It's a beautiful paradox. There are lots of paradoxes in physical reality. Okay, let's look at number two. Number two is why letting go and allowing the universe to dazzle you can be so hard. So let's talk about dazzle real quick first. It's just so good. When you first start out in a practice like the positively focused framework, which is, in case you're new here, the positively focused framework is a collection of practices I have put together in order to assist people in realizing they are infinite intelligence, pure positive energy, here on planet Earth as a learning opportunity that is accompanied by joy and freedom and sovereignty. So when you are beginning to practice the positively focused framework, or any new age process that has some accuracy to it, part of the early stages of the practice is surprising and delightful experiences delivered to you on behalf of the universe, on behalf of you by the universe. And the reason why they're dazzling is because you don't expect them to happen. But over a period of time, as these things happen over and over again, they just become your what is, just like your current life is your what is. And so this word dazzling is only for beginners of a practice such as the positively focused framework, a practice whereby you're aligned with the universe and the universe is bringing you everything you want. Eventually, you get to the point where this is happening so often that you're no longer dazzled, you're just in a state of grace, a state of understanding that you live in this state of grace, this state in which everything you want happens on your behalf without you having to do anything to have it happen. But it can be difficult. It can be difficult for a human being to allow that kind of life experience to happen. And one of the reasons why, and this is the purpose of life experience, is because you've come into life experience with certain intentions. These intentions comprise the basis of your experience in physical reality. These intentions are core to what you are, and as a result of these intentions, that's why you come here, is to move through these intentions. And some of these intentions have to do with letting go of old beliefs, old momentum, vibratory momentum that you have sort of assembled on your path through many, many lifetimes, and trajectories and non-physical. And so you're coming into this physical reality in order to experience more directly, more concretely, the experiences that are associated with these intentions. And typically what happens when people first come into physical reality, everyone comes in the same way. You have to come through a vagina, and that vagina is typically attached to another person, and there's usually a second person participating with the person with the vagina that has you come in. That happens through sex. And so you're born into this physical reality through two other people. And those two people, I know sometimes there's more people than just two in the case of surrogacy and things like that, but you get my point. When you come in through other people, you take on, it's almost inevitable that you take on the momentum of their beliefs too. Those other people are traveling in the same trajectory as you are, which means you are a vibrational match to the people you choose to come through. And so when you come into physical reality, you come in amidst a cadre of other beings who share the same intentions that you do. And so when you first come into physical reality, and it's a lot more difficult than what I'm going to describe, otherwise this would be a 2-hour video. You essentially absorb the vibrational momentum of your parents, and as a result of that, you take on beliefs that have you think certain things, like money doesn't grow on trees, like you have to get a job, you have to work for others, life is unfair, in every life a little rain must fall. These kinds of beliefs people take on. And then there are other much more disempowering beliefs that you can take on that I'm not going to go into. In any case, these constellations of beliefs that you absorb from other beings as you move through the early stages of your life trajectory, these are the beliefs that have you then create a reality, because all beliefs create reality. These beliefs create the reality in which, for sure, what you believe is true. And when you get to the truth of those beliefs, the outward manifested presentation of the vibrational reality of the beliefs you hold made real for you, and so they become true for you. When you are then in that reality, you are forced by your beliefs to contend with the reality of your beliefs. And so if you believe that income comes from a job, then you have to go get a job. Just because you believe that income comes from a job doesn't mean that's where money comes from, or that is the only place money comes from. But if you believe that, and your reality has basically gotten to the momentum of your belief has produced a reality that makes that true for you, then you have no other alternative with regard to generating income than getting a job. But that's not the only way money comes to people. There are lots of ways money comes to people. Can you think of some? There's the lottery, there's inheritance, there's passive income, there's entrepreneurship, there's YouTube celebrity, there's Instagram celebrity. There's all kinds of ways that money can come to people without them having to get a job working for another person. So one of the reasons why it can be difficult to allow yourself to be dazzled by the universe providing you everything you want is because your beliefs are so strong, and as a result of their momentum strength, they're producing a reality that convinces you that it's not a good idea to let the universe dazzle you. Dazzle me? Are you crazy? I got to pay bills next week or next month or whatever. Can you see how the truth of your beliefs would prevent you from being able to let go and allow the universe to provide for you everything that it is that you're wanting? This is the momentum that you chose to come into when you chose to come into physical reality. But that doesn't mean you have to be beholden to that momentum for the rest of your life. And the fact that you're watching this video tells you that that is true. You don't have to continue to hold on to the beliefs that are creating the reality that forces you to believe that you have to make things happen. But it's because of that it can be very, very difficult to let go and let the universe Let go and let God, as some people like to say. It can be very difficult to let go. It can be scary to consider letting go. Most people think it would be foolhardy to let go. Most people think you're just putting your head in the sand if you let go. And so, in fact, I've just had an image in my head of people shaking their heads at someone who is embracing this way of life, because they're shaking their heads because their reality, which is a product of their beliefs, is so strong, this shaking head reaction, that you could almost call that a microaggression. That behavior is what happens when their beliefs take them over. They're having a belief confrontation. I call it in the positively focused practice. A belief confrontation is what happens when you're confronted with a reality that doesn't accord with your beliefs. And when that happens, your beliefs assert themselves and they kind of take you over, and you're not conscious of what's happening, but you have collapsed into your beliefs. Your beliefs have become you. And when that happens, when you're confronted with a reality that doesn't accord with your beliefs, you then have this immediate reaction. It's almost a somatic reaction where you just can't help but assert your belief over the reality that's confronting that belief, which causes you then to double down on your belief. So when someone is talking like I'm talking to someone who has very strong beliefs in the common sense of humanity, the person who I'm talking to will have a belief confrontation. They will shake their head and think I'm crazy. That's their belief taking them over. Meanwhile, there is an alternate reality in which what I'm talking about is true. It is accurate. It's actually accurate even in this distorted common sense reality. So think of it. The people who are moving through ordinary reality, believing, for example, that you have to get a job, those people have a belief, and the universe is lovingly providing them what is consistent with their belief. And so they're not, those people who believe they have to get a job, they're not trying really hard to believe they have to get a job. They're trying really hard to get a job sometimes, but they're not having to try hard at all believing that they have to get a job. The universe is lovingly giving them the circumstances in which I have to get a job is being proven true to them. This is an example of the universe dazzling that person, the person who believes they have to get a job, with the reality in which they get what they believe, which is they have to get a job. So this isn't something that isn't happening ordinarily. What I'm talking about here, the universe giving you everything you want, is happening all day, every day for everybody. Breathing is a good example. It's so good. You believe deep within you, it's unconscious, you believe that you have to ingest, imbibe, and breathe in air in order for your body to sustain itself. And so the universe provides you with an abundance of oxygen. It's actually more than that, but you get my point. It's an abundance of air. So much air that you don't even notice that you're breathing it in and out. It just happens for you. And so it really comes down to what you believe with regard to whether or not you're willing to let go. And part of the positively focused framework, the practice, involves having people getting to the point where they can let go. It takes a while. It takes a while because these beliefs that people have are so strong, letting go can feel existential. That's scary. And so it takes a while for people to let go and allow the universe to dazzle them. And that's why it's so hard, is because it can feel existential. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. How free will sometimes gets in the way of the universe doing its job. This is what I was just talking about this. So you are all that is, and all that is has complete free will, because there's nothing beyond all that is trying to dictate to all that is what it should be doing. You are all that is, and so you are completely free to take on whatever beliefs you want to take on. And if you're not aware that you have free will and must practice discernment with that, then you will put your attention on beliefs or thoughts or the actions of others that cause you to become aligned with those beliefs, or the beliefs that are driving those actions of others, or the others. You will become aligned to those things, and as a result of your indeliberate application of your free will, you can get into a vibrational reality, a physical reality, in which the universe gives you the evidence that the universe is not helping you, which is the experience of most human beings. They wouldn't say it that way, but anytime a human being is thinking that, for example, that climate change is killing humanity or killing the environment, that's a human being who's got a distorted belief about what the universe is doing. Again, when I say universe, I'm talking about all that is. So our free will is extremely powerful, but it also can be a curse if you don't manage your free will in a way that involves some discernment. You want to be really careful what you're doing with your free will, or else you can end up in a reality in which you've pinched off so much of the delight and the blessings of the universe that you're struggling in life, stressed out, anxiety-ridden, feeling powerless, feeling depressed. These are experiences that come to people who have indeliberately applied their free will. And this is why our free will can get in the way of the universe giving us everything we want. But the great thing is, again, it's a paradox. There are lots of paradoxes in all that is. The paradox is, when you are indeliberately applying your free will to the point where you're feeling depressed, for example, or frustrated, or anxiety-ridden, that is the universe, all that is, giving you the feedback that you require in order to do something about where you are. It's lovingly providing you free feedback in the form of, first, if you can feel it, vibrational dissonance. Secondly, in the form of the thoughts and beliefs you're thinking. Or thirdly, in how you're feeling. It's giving you feedback so that in this physical reality, you can make a choice with your free will a choice to do what? To lean in the direction, to choose a better feeling vibrational frequency that has you then realign with the grace of all that is, and therefore literally rise out of your depression, your frustration, or your anxiety. It's so good knowing this. It's so good knowing this. It's a conundrum to me that so many people don't know this, because knowing it gives you so much freedom and sovereignty in your life experience. It's so good. So now let's talk about how to let go and move from these stages that I talked about in point number 4 as we come to a conclusion here. This is really important. So I have them listed in the incorrect order. So in order to let go and move from doubt into various levels of empowerment, you first have to know that there's an opportunity where you can let go. And most people, when they hear this, as I said earlier in this live stream, they'll have a belief confrontation. But if they're working with someone like me who can guide them beyond or through their belief confrontation, they can get to the point where they reach the first level of awareness that what I'm talking about in this live stream is possible. The first level of awareness is hope. I really hope that what Perry is talking about is true. Hope means you're wanting something, but your belief that you can't have it is still relatively strong. So we start there. Then we move the client to faith. Faith happens when you have diminished your disbelief and you want to believe, but you don't have enough evidence. You have hardly any evidence, actually. That's what faith feels like. That's when faith shows up. Faith is wanting to believe in the absence of evidence. And as someone moves through this practice or some other spiritually aligned, spiritually accurate practice, they begin to produce the evidence that allows them to move further up the stages that I'm talking about here. When you begin to first assemble evidence through moving through something like the positively focused practice, the framework, then you start to produce more evidence. And as you build more evidence, you start to believe that what I'm talking about, this letting go thing, is possible. And you start to believe that the universe, wow, I've got enough evidence to show that I can believe that the universe is providing me with everything I want without me having to take any effort to make that happen. And as you continue to move through the phase of belief, you assemble even more evidence, more things going your way, more coincidences, they're not coincidences, more coincidence, more happy accidents, more manifestations, more castles manifesting, more buttons manifesting. As those things start to happen, then you move into the next stage of awareness, which is trust. At this point, you have what I call a basket of evidence. You move into a stage where you just trust. You may not know for sure, but you trust, even in the face of contrast, what human beings call negative experience. Even in the face of contrast, you are able to trust that this is going to work out for you. And it does. And when it does, and 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 it does, then you move into a state of knowing. You just know that you're at the center of the universe and that everything is flowing to you, for you, on behalf of infinite intelligence. And in that state of knowing, then you effortlessly allow the universe to bring you everything that you want. You let go. And so how do you do that? How do you get to the point of letting go? First of all, you have to have someone who can help you move through this process I just described. Someone who can hold confidence for you on your behalf while you can't, until you can move through hope, from hope to faith, to belief, to trust, and then finally to knowing. That's how it happens. And the positively focused framework, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best approaches to realizing this state of knowing, realizing that you're at the center of the universe and that the universe is bending over backwards to give you everything you want without you having to do anything to make those things happen. That's my life, moment by moment. It can be your life too. So I provide lots of instruction in these live videos. My Worthiness Wednesdays videos also provide examples of evidence where clients are producing exactly what I've talked about in this live stream. I also produce an AI in Spirit series that talks about the technological singularity, which is actually a spiritual inflection, where I also share perspectives from this positively focused framework as I interpret what's happening with artificial intelligence. All of these videos I produce, I do for the joy of doing them, but they also provide you with the kind of evidence that I'm talking about, where you can move from disbelief to hope. And from there, engaging with me as a client can move you through the final stages. There's nothing more valuable than finding yourself in a state of knowing. If you've listened through this entire live stream, you can see that. Because in the state of knowing, you come into your state of grace, and there everything happens effortlessly on your behalf. And the charmed life, there's nothing like it. I'm feeling complete. The next live stream will come in 2 weeks. In the meantime, next week I have 2 really good videos coming out. On Monday, the AI and Spirit video, I talk about, well, I'm going to keep that secret. There's a lot of good stuff coming out in that video. It's one of my longest yet. And then in the Worthiness Wednesday episode, what I talk about in that episode is really good too. It has to do with marriage. Okay. I wish you the best Sunday. Whatever it is you're doing, be fully engaged in it, because it is your life. Every moment is your life. And it is a good one. See you in the next video.